Hi, Dr. Michael Warren here with the fifth part of the series, which is going to go over the final piece of the pyramid. And so what we've done so far, we've built an irresistible offer, a psychologically driven website, which is and finding your hottest prospects through maximizing your Google advertising. This is primarily done from a technical perspective through the DVM Elite team. They satisfy that. Then we make sure that the calls that are coming in, we're turning all of those calls into appointments. And the final piece is going to be one of the most important of all, but it requires all the other ones to be done first. And here's a fact. 90% of callers who do not reach a live person never leave a message and never call back. So this is a really kind of shocking fact. And we've been able to see this on the Upbook platform because you can easily search a phone number that did not get connected with a live person. And quite honestly, you never see it again. And so you work so hard to get people to call your practice. And if your team are busy and they don't end up picking up the phone, then it's always, what's the point? And so just imagine if all your calls were answered. And this just adds that extra 15 to 20% back into your practice that will enable you to grow. So the key final step is to make sure that 100% of your calls get answered. And the key is to ensure that this happens during open hours. So after hours is not good enough. And in fact, you miss most of your calls during open hours when your team are helping other folks, because everybody goes to Google first, they look up your open hours, and very few calls come in after hours because they know that you're already closed, except for that 30-minute point before and after. And so what you need to be able to do is A, make sure that they're always answered, and B, make sure that your team gets an instant alert. And this instant alert cannot just be email, because if your team was checking email, then they would have picked up the phone, but it has to be some other physical process that your team can see if there's an important call. And so to solve this piece, what we've developed is a service called Upbook Answers. And so what Upbook Answers is it acts as your backup front desk. Basically, it's designed to be extremely affordable. The calls go to your team first. If for whatever reason they can't answer it, then you cannot let those calls go, especially in this era of the pandemic. Because if people call your practice and they don't get through, they're not waiting around, because you could be closed for a 2-week period and they need to get their problem solved now. So they immediately call your competitor. So with Upbook Answers, it becomes your backup front desk. A smiling Upbook Answers team member answers on your behalf, talks to the patient, takes down their details, and lets them know that a member of our team, your team, will be calling them back shortly. That message then gets, of course, emailed to you, gets texted to you, and actually, while using the Upbook phone system, it'll actually get pushed directly to all of the phones, physical phones within the clinic, so that you're able to see a red blinking light, knowing that there's an action that you need to do to follow up with that patient. And you'll be surprised by potentially how many calls that you've been missing. Although you could be surprised on the other side that you're actually taking all of the calls. And so what's great about the Upbook Answers is you only pay for the minutes that you use, and there's no contracts. So basically, you just set this up. It's risk-free, and it's sitting as your backup. So practices have been loving it. They've been referring it like crazy. And so if you feel like you're missing calls, then I would highly recommend Upbook Answers to be able to solve that for you. Again, it's very affordable. So in the final instance, again, whether you use Upbook Answers or not, what you need to be able to do to really be able to grow your practice is build it on the foundation of an irresistible offer. And again, that's something that when your prospects hear, they cannot refuse it. Next, once they hear that offer, or once you have that in place, put it on a psychologically driven website that has one main purpose, and that's to drive everybody to be able to pick up the phone. This is your foundation. Once you've got those two pieces together, you got to get this in front of as many eyeballs as possible of your ideal patients. And of course, that is in Google, because that's people that are searching with high intent. And once you get them in front of as many ideal prospects as possible, then they're going to pick up the phone and call your practice, which is exactly what you want. And you have to make sure that you have 5-star receptionist and front desk team. And you do this through measuring call performance framework and linking to rewards. And the Upbook system has been designed exactly to solve that problem. So now if you're getting all of these calls to your team, which is excellent, and your team are converting them into appointments, the only final piece is that 15 to 20% of the calls that your team just missed because they happen to come in a flurry all at once. And this final key is to make sure that you have 100% of your calls answered no matter what. and you can figure out a system or service to do that. Upbook Answers is a good one just because it's affordable and it's usage based. So you combine those together, they compound on each other, and it's guaranteed that this will be able to grow your practice. And all of this is quite fast and simple to be able to get set up. And so if you have any questions on this setup, please just let me know. I'd be happy to guide you in the right place or connect you with one of our consultants. They can do basically a 30 to 45-minute discussion on your practice, share with you the three key levers that you can be able to apply in your clinic, and then recommend the best resources for you, whether it's working with us or working with somebody else. So hope this is helpful. Looking forward to speaking with you again shortly. Talk soon. All right. Ciao. Bye now.